So I just read this article this morning, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. The title of it is California District Court Hands Churches and Liberty Council Big Victory Against Governor Newsom. All California churches may hold worship without discriminatory restrictions, and here's the kicker, forever. So I do like that the churches brought this to court to go through the legal process. I have absolutely no problem with that. And I think it's good that they were very determined to get this ruling. So I'm reading here that a lawsuit on behalf of Harvest Rock Church and Harvest International Ministry against California Governor Gavin Newsom. And the full and final settlement was approved today in district court, and thus it is the first statewide permanent injunction in the country against COVID restrictions on churches and places of worship. Under the agreed statewide permanent injunction, all California churches may hold worship without discriminatory restrictions. So this is actually pretty good news. I am annoyed though, just personally speaking, because our rights don't come from the government. Okay, our rights do not come from the government. I'm glad that this is a victory, but I see it as like, that does acknowledge that the governor has a lot of power, but our rights come from God. I personally think we should never have shut down the churches. And the reason why is because, look, Costco was open, Walmart was open, Target was open. How is it that these stores can remain open and churches cannot? I think we should never have shut down the churches. And it's been a long time. This whole COVID thing is out of hand, it's very political, and it's a definite infringement upon our freedom and liberties that are God-given. It even says it, okay? Not only in our Constitution, but our Bill of Rights. All our documents that proclaim our freedom acknowledge that they are God-given. So on one hand, I'm really proud that the churches fought this legally in court, but it just acknowledges then that, we acknowledge the law that they have to close us down when these other places are to remain. CVS was open and so was Walgreens, and how come all the grocery stores can be open? It's just, and churches cannot. I find that very concerning. I find it concerning on part of the churches. I find it concerning on the weak leadership of many of the churches, including the congregation, because we're allowed to speak up too. In the name of God, we are His sons and daughters. We are believers in Jesus Christ. The churches back in the early church, if you will, right after Jesus ascended into heaven, they stayed open. They did not shut down because of the government, and the Roman government was not friendly to them. We know that. They were not friendly to Christians, and Paul was one of them. Okay? So I just find this very concerning that in a circle way, it's acknowledging that our rights come from the government and not from God. But I am happy on the other side that the victory has been granted us and that the churches can be open now in California forever. So you just never know how God's going to work. Well, that's it for fish. First I seek Him. My name is Linda, and until next time.